السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ثم أما بعد. So this is the second week of the Ask the Imam series. So I hope you have some good questions today. So I'm not going to make any further introduction. So inshallah, we'll start with the first questions. There was a question actually regarding those who could not fast number of days for any valid reason, and they did not fast these days until the next Ramadan comes. Qada, yani. They have days qada, and the next Ramadan came without fasting these days they missed in the last Ramadan. Is there any fidya or kafara for this person? The ulama have different views on this. First of all, the ulama differentiated between those who could not fast until next Ramadan simply because they were not able to fast, because they were still sick. Someone was unable to fast because he was sick, and he was not healed until next Ramadan. So for him, of course, there's a very valid excuse. So then the only thing he needs to do is to fast these missed days until when he became healthy again. So what if someone was able to fast and had plenty of days and months, but he did not? He has no valid excuse. In this, we have two opinions. One opinion is the Hanafi madhab. Imam Abu Hanifa said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. So there's no sin to delay these days, even if he has no excuse. But the three other Imams, Imam Malik, Imam Ahmad, and Imam Shafi'i, they said, no, he has to make these days up, and he has to feed one person per day. This is relying on one particular hadith. They consider this hadith to be authentic, and they said those who missed Ramadan, fasting Ramadan, and they don't make it up until next Ramadan, then they still have to make these days and to have to feed, in addition to fasting, feed one person per day. However, all of them, they said that we must fast these days as quickly as possible, because it is a debt. You owe this debt to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you never know whether you will live long enough to make these days off or not. So if you have missed some days, then you have to make them as early as possible. The early is better. Earlier is better. Do we have to make these days consecutively, or we can separate these days? Someone missed 7 days in Ramadan. Does he have to fast these 7 days consecutively, or he can separate them? Again, two opinions. The strongest opinion is that he does not have to fast them consecutively any days, because Allah says, subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. However, some ulama, and this is again, that's not the strong opinion, that they said it is he must fast them consecutively, because there was a qira'ah that says فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ مُتَتَابِعَات. So the word mutatabi'at in different qira'ah was there, but this qira'ah is not strong qira'ah. So the bottom line is that if you missed some days, then you have to make them as early as possible, and you don't have to make them consecutively. You can fast any days. Some ladies who miss few days in Ramadan, they actually fast the 3 days in the middle of the month, which is sunnah, to fast the 13th, 14th, and 15th days of every month. So they pick this month, or 3 days, to make up the days. So they are doing the sunnah of fasting these days, and also the fard of making up the days they missed. There's nothing wrong with that. And some, of course, here in Michigan, they prefer to fast to make up these days in the shortest days of the month, of the year, right? Like in December or January and February. This is, the shortest. That the sun rises at 8 something or close to 8, and the Maghrib is 5 something, right? 5 o'clock or so. There's nothing wrong with that. You can pick and choose any days, right? And apart from halal and haram, it is highly recommended that if you fast, it is better to fast them consecutively. It's better. Why? Because your body will get used to it. When you separate these days, every day will be difficult fasting. But if you choose like 1 week of February, for example, when the day is short, or January, then fast the 6 or 7 days, one shot. That would be easier. I'm not saying this is must, but that would be easier. Allahu A'lam. Yes. What it? Praying qasr. Well, praying qasr, simply when you travel, the masafat al-qasr, the distance of qasr, which almost about 40 miles. So 40 miles, then you pray qasr. How long you pray qasr? Is it only while you are traveling or while you are staying there? So if you go to Chicago and stay there for 2 weeks, so should I pray qasr for the whole period? Or some scholars said no, only 4 days, right? إذا صليت إذا بقيت أربعا فصلي أربعا, they say. So 4 days only, and after this you pray regularly. Others said no, 15 days. But Wallahu A'lam, what is right is that as long as you are traveling, that's not your home. You are there temporarily. Your home is here. So as long as you are traveling, you can do that. Wallahu A'lam. No. Shopping? Okay. Yes, Imam Malik, I think only Imam Malik who said that you cannot make qasr unless you're going for halal or permissible thing. So, this restriction is not found anywhere in the hadith. So, in other words, yes, regardless of the reason why you're traveling. So you're traveling for fun, you're traveling for to buy something or to visit someone, and as long as you're going beyond the 40 mile, then this counts as traveling, and this also applies to fasting. And this brings us to another question: is it better to fast when you are traveling, or it's better not to fast when you are traveling? A very common question. And same thing: is it better to fast while you are sick, or it is better not to fast while you're sick? Because Allah gave us the rukhsa not to fast. من كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر. What kind of مريض? Because there are different kind of illnesses, right? So what kind of illness that allows us not to fast in Ramadan? So in this, the ulama said the criteria for this is that any illness that would be increased or worsened, in other words, by fasting, or the healing will be delayed. So these are the two conditions. So if you fast while you're sick, and fasting will make your health worse, or it will delay. Can we just cancel this thing? Or it will delay the healing. If any of these two things, then it's better not to fast, because fasting is hurting your health. And that was not one of the objectives of fasting, to hurt you, right? So that's the regardless whatever illness you have. Use these two criteria. The other day, a sister asked me, she got cancer and she went through 2 surgeries, then chemos and so on. And she said, I feel I'm still strong, I can fast. But my doctor, her doctor, a Muslim doctor, told her no, you should not fast. What should I do? And I told her, just listen to your doctor, because your doctor knows things that you don't know. Maybe you feel strong, but you still need to have, nutrition and stay hydrated and so on. So you should trust your daughter, even if he's not Muslim or she's not Muslim, but they're expert, that are trustworthy. Then listen to them, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the rukhsah. Um, is it better to travel, to fast while traveling, or not to fast while traveling? And some make the argument that traveling today is much easier than traveling in the past, which is true. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ, He did not say difficult suffer or easy suffer, it's suffer. And again, suffer also, there's something called travel stress, right? When you are traveling, taking a flight to Florida, 2 hours perhaps, but the preparation for this and rushing to the airport and going through security, and there's some sort of stress. You don't want to miss anything. So just take it easy. Travel itself is easy, alhamdulillah, but it's accompanied also with some sort of stress. So if you are traveling, then is it better to fast or not to fast? The ulama said that if you can fast without hurting yourself, or putting yourself in hardship, then it's better to fast. And if you are traveling and traveling will make it very difficult on you, then it's better not to fast. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz radiallahu anhu used to say that أفضلهما أيسرهما. The easier option is the better one. If you think you can fast, you can drive to Cleveland and come back, and alhamdulillah, you get good suhoor and you're healthy, you have air condition in your car and you're driving, so it's better to fast, because the month of Ramadan is not like any other time. But if you want not to fast, you absolutely have every right not to fast, even if you are strong. It's better to fast. But if you are traveling and it's getting really tough and difficult, Allah make it easy for you. Don't make it difficult on yourself. And even if you fly nowadays, going the other side of the world, and a lot of hardship are included. And people always ask, so if I'm flying and now it's Maghrib time, but the sun is still there, because now we are in a different zone, and in different zone, Maghrib not come yet. So should I break my fasting based on the time, or based on what I see? And this happened actually. Sheikh Qaradawi mentioned this story. He said that we were flying, and people said, well, it is Maghrib time now, and people start eating. And he said, no, we should not eat because the sun is still there. So we break our fasting when the sun set. Understand? Forget about timing. Is the timing when of the so these calendars, it help us understand or know when the sun sets. But this in itself, it's not the criteria, because this reflects. It's like a mirror. It reflects the sunset. But if you are flying and the sun does not set, this timing has no value. You break your fasting when the sun sets. But I'm flying, west. So every time, we fly to Chicago, and then the sun did not set yet. And then keep going, Arizona, and going to California. Man, we're adding 4 more hours. Yeah, that's true, but Allah give you the rukhsah not to fast. You want to fast, then you have to wait until the sun sets. Is this point clear? Now. Well, again, some opinions said yes, you can do that, because you are ready, sitting for traveling, even fasting. If you are getting your passport and you have a flight reserved and everything, and you are in your car, still in your hometown, then you can do that, because you are initiating the traveling, even though you are still in your town, but you are in the process of going out. Right? It's not probable. No, you are determined, and you are going to the airport and taking the flight. Yes, you can pray Dhuhr and Asr, because you are in the state of traveling. Well, that's a methodological question. Well, what does it mean to be Hanafi? Since you brought it up, what does it mean to be Hanafi? What makes you Hanafi? Yeah. What makes your parents Hanafi? Exactly. They are followers. They are not Hanafi per se. Because the word Hanafi, if you want to study fiqh, right? You go to Al-Azhar, any school. You study the Hanafi, you spend 5-6 years studying Hanafi. This makes you Hanafi faqih or Imam or Mufti. Because you studied Hanafi, right? You studied all kind of chapters of fiqh, not only tahara and salah, also qisas and diya and inheritance and all these things, right? So this makes you a Hanafi student, right? Hanafi student, and then when you graduate, you are Hanafi, Mufti or Imam or whatever, right? If you don't go through this process, but it happened that your local Imam is Hanafi and you come and pray behind him and he pray Hanafi and then you are follower of this local Imam, this does not make you Hanafi. It makes you Hanafi only in this particular thing, in this particular part. So people are either students of knowledge or laymen. Students of knowledge, they choose study fiqh according to Hanafi or Shafi'i or Maliki, and then they become Shafi'i or Hanafi or Maliki, right? But layman, the one who never studied fiqh, never been in any school to study fiqh, then he's not Hanafi or Shafi'i or Maliki. He prays according to Hanafi, maybe. He got used to this because he grew up in a Hanafi community, perhaps. This does not make him Hanafi. What is his madhab then? He has no madhab. Al-Ammi la madhab lah. Layman has no madhab. Keep this in mind. This our ulama said. Al-Ammi la madhab lahu. Al-Ammi, the one who did not study fiqh, right? He has no madhab. So what's my madhab then? Your madhab is the madhab of your mufti. No. I'm coming to this. I'm coming to this. So you are here, but tomorrow you travel to Houston. You got an issue. You don't know what to do. You go to the Imam there and ask him, can I combine the prayer? If he says yes, then that's a good fatwa, take it. And don't ask him, is this based on Hanafi or not? Because I'm Hanafi. Don't ask this because you're not Hanafi. Whatever fatwa he gives you, follow it, you are good. Then you travel next week to Chicago and you got an issue, different issue. You don't know what to do. You go and ask the local Imam there. I have this situation, can I wipe on my socks? He said, yes, do that, that's okay. Then take his fatwa. Then tomorrow you fly to make Umrah. You go to Saudi Arabia, Medina. You got an issue. You ask the Imam there. And whatever he gives you, take it. Okay? So, fatwa shopping is not good. It's what you are asking about. That's called fatwa shopping. If you go on Google and try, is it okay to eat meat from Walmart or in McDonald's? All right? And then you will find all kind of fatwas, right? And you pick the one you like. That's not good. We don't pick and choose based on easiness necessarily. And in addition, picking and choosing could be the job of the ulama themselves. The alim, to make it easy for you, because I know there are 2-3 opinions, okay, in this particular issue. So you ask me a question, I will choose the easiest one for you. And that's fiqh. Fiqh is not just to make the life of people difficult. Fiqh is the opposite. If you have 2 or 3 opinions, choose the easiest one for the people. This is what Rasulullah used to do. Aisha radiallahu anha said that ما خير رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بين أمرين إلا اختار أيسرهما ما لم يكن إثما. Whenever the Prophet ﷺ is giving 2 choice, he always chooses the easy one, as long as it's not haram, it's not sin. So the alim makes things easy for the people. He can make things difficult on himself. That's his choice. But he should make things easy on people. All right? So picking and choosing based on madhab, that no, you ask someone who trusts his knowledge and his akhlaq and iman. right? And ask him, so I have this question, what should I do? Then he tells you what you should do. Then if you trust him, then follow him. That's khalas. It's like a lawyer. You have a case in the court. You cannot go because you're not a lawyer. You don't study the law. You are not a lawyer, right? That's the same as asking, am I Hanafi or Shafi'i? You are not anything because you did not study. In medicine, there are schools of thought in medicine, right? One doctor will say, no, take the medicine. Others will know you have to do a surgery. And that's why they always recommend that you get a second opinion in medicine. Why? Because there are schools of thought in medicine. If you trust your doctor, just do what he asks you to do. Okay? You got a court case, you ask a lawyer. And if you trust the lawyer, then go with his advice. Or there's another option. Is go and spend 5 years studying law. Then you don't have to ask a lawyer because you are a lawyer. You understand? So as long as you don't study fiqh, spend 4, 5, 6 years studying fiqh, go ask someone you trust and follow his advice. There's no process of making people Hanafi or Shafi'i. I grew up in Egypt, and the majority of Imams around us are Shafi'is. Right? So I follow them. This does not make me Shafi'i. It makes me a follower of Shafi'i. Then I go and live in Saudi Arabia. Then I'll become Hanbali. Not become Hanbali. I mean, I'll ask the Imams there, and most of them are Hanbali. So I'll become Hanbali. Then you go and live in Pakistan, then you become Hanafi again. And go and live in Mauritania or in Morocco, ask the Imams there are Maliki. So you're going to pray according to Maliki. You got my point? So your madhab is the madhab of the people around you. The Imams around you, the local Imams. Easy and simple. So you either study fiqh, so you don't need to ask anybody, you know what to do, because you spend 6 years studying, or you just go and ask the experts and follow their opinion. Is this point clear? I hope it is. Okay. If you go to this mosque, pray with them, follow the Imam there. If you go to that mosque, follow the Imam there. Easy. Imams are being made to be followed. Okay? So I ask these brothers sometimes when someone tells me, no, you cannot do that. Your salah will be valid. If you wipe on your socks, your wudu is not. I said, brother, if Imam Malik or Imam Shafi'i came to this masjid to lead the prayer, not going to pray behind him? If he says, yes, I'm not going to pray behind him, so okay, end of the discussion. If you are not going to pray behind Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, if he's alive now, we're not going to pray behind him? Of course we will. We love him and respect him. If he says, yes, I will, it's okay, khalas, if you pray behind him, then follow his opinion. Imam Shafi'i, see, ulama are different from followers. Followers are ignorant and fanatic. But these ulama are sincere people. Imam Shafi'i, when he went to Iraq to discuss his opinions with the Hanafi scholars, Muhammad ibn Hassan, Abu Yusuf, and others, in his madhab, he prays qunut every day in Fajr. In Fajr Salah in Egypt, if you go to any place, any masjid in Egypt, pray Fajr, the Imam after second ruku' says Sami Allahu liman hamida, and then Allahumma hdina fi man, and everybody says the same thing. That's very common in Egypt. Very common. Like we do in Witr, right? That's the second rak'ah of Fajr. That's Imam Shafi'i's method, because the hadith there, the Prophet ﷺ prayed qunut, and he relied on this hadith. He said this sunnah to pray qunut, to make qunut every morning. But when he went and he prayed in Al-A'zamiyah, A'zamiyah in Iraq, it's called A'zamiyah because Imam Al-A'zam Abu Hanifa is buried there, so it's called A'zamiyah, the city named A'zamiyah, when Imam Abu Hanifa is buried. So he went there, and of course people asked him to lead the prayer because Imam Shafi'i. So he led the prayer, Fajr prayer, but he did not make qunut. I said, Imam, your madhab. He said, just out of respect to the grave of Imam Abu Hanifa. I'm here in his mosque. So make qunut is okay. Not making it is also okay. Don't make a big fuss about this. It is not valid or invalid. It's just, to me, this hadith is strong, so I'll follow this hadith. Abu Hanifa said, this hadith is not strong, so I'm not going to follow it. Fine. So we need just to have to understand that we are nothing when it comes to fiqh. If you go to Saudi Arabia, pray. I'm sure for those of you who did Umrah, this janazah prayer after each prayer, right? And the Imam there make one tasbih, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. That's it. One salam. And for those who are not Hanbali, that's kind of very strange because we say two salam, right? So what should I do? Should I make two salam? No, follow the Imam because the Imam is following good madhab. It's not. We are not comparing between right and wrong. There are two views, Hamakumullah, two interpretation, all right? And both of them, inshallah, are okay. So you go to Al-Madinah, you follow the Imam of Medina. Do what he does, right? And don't do like these fanatic people who go there and they don't pray in Jama'ah. They wait until the Jama'ah is over and then they establish their own Jama'ah because these people are wrong. All these thousands of people praying in Al-Haram are wrong and you are right? Yeah, because these people, they do this and they do that, they're not, they're wrong. So you're causing fitna in the community. And that's why, according to Imam Shafi'i, if you miss the prayer, Shafi'i madhab, if you miss the prayer with Jama'ah, don't form another Jama'ah. Khalas, you miss the Jama'ah, you pray on your own. You pray on your own. According to others, you can make another Jama'ah, but this should be the exception, not the norm. Because if every time this group of people wait until this Jama'ah, the wrong Jama'ah is over, then we start the right Jama'ah. That's a formula for division, and that's not permissible. So back to your question, Ya akhi, your madhab is the madhab of your mufti. Allahu a'lam. You don't even know that. Oh no, not you. I mean, the people come and pray and go. You don't have to care about this. In prayer, you mean? For anything, I mean, again, if you trust someone, his knowledge and his hikmah and iman, ask him and take it and go. So should we ask about the dalil? Again, do you know the dalil? You know the different adillah? Because adillah is a huge subject. Adillah could be Quran or the Sunnah or Qiyas or Maslaha Mursala or Urf or Shara' man qablana or Istishab or Istihsan. There are plenty of adillah, not only Quran and Sunnah. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. So there are schools of thought. So whatever school you feel comfortable with, go and ask. And whatever, okay, so is it better for me to give you the dalil? If you understand the dalil, then I'll share it with you. Is it because the Prophet said this or the Prophet said that or how? Okay, so this makes you perhaps more comfortable. Give some reasoning. But if someone does not understand anything about dalil or does not know nasikh and mansukh and tafsir and different levels of authenticity of hadith, sahih, mutawatir, mashhur, da'if, he doesn't know any of these things. So you're going to explain it to them, you're not going to understand it. It's like asking a doctor, why you are prescribing this medicine? How does it work with my body? And then he has to explain everything to you or give you a book to read. It is stupidity to ask these kind of questions because you don't know. Even if he tells you, he's not going to understand because he's going to throw words you don't understand. And that's why in some ulama say that إذا سأل العامي عن الدليل فاضربوه. Oh, nobody laughs. So nobody understands. So it says, when the ammi, the layman, when they ask about the dalil, slap him in the face. Because he doesn't understand what dalil, what are you talking about? Go and study medicine then, if you want to know the details. Right? So the ammi goes and asks a question. You trust this alim or this imam, ask him. Whatever he tells you, what if, okay, I asked this, but I know the other scholar said that. So I have two opinions. Some said you have to pay zakah for 401k, or others said no, you don't have to. So now I'm confused. Then in this case, I would suggest that you have to make some research. Ask for the evidence and put this rationale of this fatwa and the rationale of this fatwa, and whichever you think is closer to the Quran and the Sunnah, go and do it. And this is what we do, by the way, in our life. I always give this example. Before you buy a house, you make you spend so much time making your homework. You see the history of this house, you see the school district, you see the crime rate, you see the mortgage and the taxes. You look at everything, and you get the expert to take a look at the house to make sure that there's no major problems in the house. You are not a constructor, you're not an expert, but then you become an expert because you are making a big decision. So similarly, when it comes to zakah, when it comes to salah, when it comes to these big things, then you have to spend some time, make some research, ask the two opinions about the rationale behind this, and then you make decision based on that. This does not make you a scholar, but it makes you an expert in this particular point. All right? Some ulama call this ijtihad juz'i. You find someone whose expertise in fiqh in Islamic family law, or in his expertise in Islamic financing. He's very good in this, but he does not know so much about other areas of fiqh. So he has mujtahid, a scholar in this area. Allahu A'lam. Yes. When you fly long flights, you pray on time. You can combine the prayers. That's a rukhsah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this rukhsah, and the Prophet practiced it hundreds of times. All right? You pray Dhuhr and Asr together in the time of Dhuhr or in the time of Asr. So you pray Dhuhr and then you pray Asr. And khalas, you don't have to pray until Maghrib. Or you delay Dhuhr until Asr time and then you pray Dhuhr and Asr together. Maghrib and Isha, the same thing. When the sun sets, you pray Maghrib and Isha, and that's it. Or you delay Maghrib until midnight, and then you pray Maghrib and Isha together. So Jam' Taqdeem or Jam' Ta'khir. You bring Asr to the Dhuhr time, or you delay Dhuhr to Asr time. That's called Jam'. All right? I'm coming to this. I understand. This is your question. So in the flight, then you pray on time. Your flight is 1 p.m. And then after 1 hour, this is the beginning of Dhuhr time. Okay, you pray Dhuhr and Asr together. You make wudu, and while you're sitting, pray there. I know some will say, no, you cannot pray while sitting, you have to stand up. I have to stand up when I can stand up. But when I cannot stand up, then it becomes no obligation there. You got my point? I always say that, keep in mind, taklif, obligation in Islam, in fiqh, is linked hand in hand with the ability. And you will find this very consistent in every chapter of fiqh, very consistent. When you are 100% able, you are 100% responsible to pray on time, make right to do, stand up and make. But if you are 80% able, you are not 100%. You cannot stand because you have a back pain, then sit down. So the obligation goes down along with the ability. Okay? You are only 50% able, then the obligation goes 50%. If you are 50% able, Allah will not give you 60% obligation. You understand? Fiqh goes up and down very flexibly based on the ability. So if you don't have water, then use make tayammum. Use the dust. So I have no tayammum. I'm sitting on my bed. The bed is very clean, and I have nobody to bring water, or I cannot even make wudu. I have no water and I have no dirt. So you have zero ability to make wudu or tayammum. Khalas, don't do it. This obligation falls. It doesn't exist for you. Now you don't know the direction of Qibla. You're in a hotel, you don't know the Qibla direction. Make your best ijtihad. Try to see the sun, ask. And if you know this is the Qibla direction, then khalas, pray this way. Right? Similarly, when you can't stand up, then you have to stand up. You have to in obligatory prayers. Then I cannot stand up because I did a surgery, or my back hurts, or I cannot because in the air flight I cannot stand up and pray. There's no room for me. Khalas, there's no room, akhi. I was flying Saudi Airlines going for Hajj, and this Boeing 777, they have this space in the back, and they make it like musalla. Then I cannot pray on my chair because there's a place there. You understand? So, but if you are flying Lufthansa, very strict. You cannot stand anywhere. You cannot just go and pray like this. For the safety and the rules they have. Alas, don't stand. You cannot. Allah knows that. But once you land, you cannot sit down and pray sitting down because you can't stand. You understand? So you combine pray dhuhr, 2 rak'ah dhuhr, and then 2 rak'ah asr while standing mikru ruku' like this, and sujood lower. Sami Allahu liman hamida, and tashahud, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. That's it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want to make our life difficult. He told us a number of times in the Quran. We are making it difficult upon ourselves. Ya akhi, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. Allah said, no, why didn't you stand up? Because I was flying Lufthansa. I cannot stand up. According to the rules, you cannot do that. For the safety, and there's no room for this. You cannot occupy a place for yourself. This is mine. It's not yours. But if you fly Saudi Arabia or any other Muslim, airline, and they provide a place there, then go and pray there. Okay? And same thing with Maghrib and Isha. You pray Maghrib, 3 rak'ahs, Isha, 2 rak'ahs, and pray witr, 1 or 3 rak'ahs, and that's it. All right? Allah. In some madhab, Maliki madhab, yes, it's a must. This is how to pray when we are traveling. But others said, no, it's not a must, but it is recommended to do it. But if you pray 4, that's, yeah. Especially if you are praying behind Jama'ah. If you are traveling and there's a Jama'ah praying, then follow the Imam, pray 4, they're praying 4. Yes, he has the rukhsah. He's traveling. It is daily work. Yes, still, absolutely. But he does not live there. He works there. But his house, his family, his money, his property is different place. Then he's traveling. Yes, he's traveling. He can. But again, as I said, if you can fast, it's better to fast because Ramadan is different. Ramadan is full of blessings, and it's difficult to fast out of Ramadan. Fasting in Ramadan is much easier, especially when you fast every day. Khalas, your body gets used to it. But technically, he can. Can do them both. The problem, I know the reason of your question is because of the language. This is another thing in Hanafi madhab I don't like. I really admire the Hanafi madhab. Hanafi madhab is very pragmatic, very flexible. But in certain areas, all madhab are like this. Some madhab are very strong and powerful in some areas, and some other areas their dalil is so weak. Like Asr prayer. I wish I can change this. Perhaps in the future I will change it. You know the Asr prayer we pray here? It's makruh. To delay Asr until 7 o'clock, it is makruh because you are delaying Salah. Salat al-Asr in particular, you should pray in the beginning of the time. Don't delay it unless you have an excuse. If you delay Asr until the shade of an object, if you have a tree in your backyard and see that the shade of the tree, it's double, this is the beginning of the karaha time, makruh time. But this is the beginning of Asr time according to Hanafi. Very weak opinion, very weak, with all due respect, of course, to Imam Abu Hanifa, but he relied on one particular hadith, but there are tons of other hadith. That's why Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad, they're all with the opinion that when the shade is equal to the object, this is the beginning of Asr. All right? Delaying it until this shade becomes double is makruh, unless you have an excuse. If you have no excuse and delaying it, this is what we do every day. Should we change this? Inshallah, it will be changed. But you also need to understand why it's changed. You're going to Mecca and Medina and see the Hanafi and non-Hanafi. So, if you have 3 opinions, have very strong dalil, the vast majority of the Muslims are praying like this. Why following a weak opinion if it's in my adhab? That's why being strictly giving fatwa based on one particular madhab, I don't think is not the practice of the ulama. The Hanafi ulama and the Maliki ulama, they reject their imam's opinion and change when they find that the other opinion has stronger dalil. That's why Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Shaybani, the two brilliant students of Abu Hanifa, they differed with their Imam in many different things. And some ulama actually put it in books. And why they differed? Because Imam Abu Hanifa is not a prophet. He made ijtihad. But they found, and when they went to Medina and met with Imam Malik and talked, oh yeah, Imam Malik is right in this. So they left Imam Abu Hanifa's opinion and followed Imam Malik. There are still Hanafis, but they found out that the stronger opinion is Imam Malik's. So that's why the question of following the easiest, no, we follow the strongest. Not the strongest dalil, I mean the one that has strong dalil. So if you have an opinion, that's easy. But the dalil is very weak. And you have another opinion that makes it a little difficult, but the dalil is very strong. It's okay, I'll go with the strong dalil. Okay? Naam? Right. So Imam Abu Hanifa in the Hanafi madhab, again, this is something I inshallah, I have the intention to write about. That you cannot say anything other than Arabic in prayer. And this prevents people from making dua in Urdu. I mean, if you don't speak Arabic. In other words, the Arabic speaking people have better access to Allah than the non-Arabic speaker. Come on. Is it your sin, your fault that you have a lot of issues? And Rasulullah said the nearest you get from Allah is in sujood. So make dua there. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows all languages, I assure you. Allah knows exactly what you are talking about. Even without saying it, He knows what's in your heart, in your mind. Okay, so you know what? You can make it only in nafl, but you cannot. So who said you cannot? If you cannot make it, you cannot make it in every salah. Oh, but nafl is you cannot do it in nafl, but you cannot do it in fard. Because if you speak any language other than Arabic in salah, then your salah is invalid. I don't know why it's invalid. Yeah, I understand the Fatiha and the Quran. You have to say it in Arabic, of course. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, easy. Anybody can memorize them. I can say them. But the dua, you have an issue. You won't speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No. It's like the same thing of khutbah. You cannot give khutbah except in Arabic. Khutbah is made for people to understand. So if you say it in Arabic and nobody understands Arabic, then what's the point? Okay, so you know what? Let's play around this. So let's give a bayan. Who said it's bid'ah? You are adding something that the Prophet did not say. Not only that, before this bayan, they call adhan. I went to the other days of the masjid and adhan was made. Alhamdulillah, I'm sitting and the khatib, after the adhan, stood up and speak for 45 minutes. I said, what a long khutbah. But alhamdulillah. And then the imam sit down and another adhan was made. I said, my goodness. And then the imam, al-khatib, the same khatib, sitting in the minbar, stood up and speak for 3 minutes in Arabic. And then the iqamah was made. So I said, hold on. What was this two adhan? Said, oh, the first adhan, that's just bayan. It's not khutbah. It's not khutbah. And I'm sitting, listening to this long bayan. Do I have to listen to this long bayan? He said, no, you don't have to. So why you're calling adhan for the bayan? It's a big mess. It's a big mess. I advise my brothers, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't want to add ibadah to the well-established ibadah. We have adhan, we have khutbah, we have iqamah, salah. Now you are making adhan and bayan and adhan and khutbah in Arabic and iqamah. What is this? What is this? Oh, because the khutbah has to be in Arabic. Who said the khutbah has to be in Arabic? Oh, in Hanafi, the khutbah has, because khutbah is part of the salah and the salah must be in Arabic. Therefore, yes. No. When you pray by yourself, you do that. When you are listening, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنِ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. When the Quran is being recited, you listen. Right? You don't do anything other than, if the Imam stopped, it paused to make this dua, and then you can make this dua for yourself. But if you did not keep going, then listen. But if you pray by yourself, then you can do what you just said. Okay? Yes?
Reciting Fatiha behind the Imam. Imam recites loudly, does he still recite the Fatiha?
No. Although I'm Shafi'i, but Imam Shafi'i insisted that everyone, in every salah, whether you're Imam or follower, everybody must recite Al-Fatiha. Because of the number of hadith, I respect this, because the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever does not read Al-Fatiha, his prayer is khidaj. لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بفاتحة. لا صلاة. There's no salah to the one who does not read Fatihat al-Kitab. Whether it is Janazah salah, or Duha salah, Shruq salah, Qiyam, Fard, Nafl, any salah. Imam Shafi'i said, any salah, you have to read it. What if the Imam, or the question is, when should I read this? If the Imam is reading. It's again, if you go to Egypt, for example, it's very common, very common. The Imam said, وَلَضَّالِّينَ آمين, and then he pauses for him or others to say Al-Fatih. And then he starts reading the surah. So he pauses between the Fatiha and the surah. But this pause, where is it coming from? The Prophet ﷺ never did this. There's no report that says the Prophet ﷺ used to read Al-Fatiha and then he paused and then he reads. So if the answer is read Al-Fatiha, even if the Imam reads the surah, then you are contradicting with the ayah that says وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. When the Quran is being recited, listen carefully. You cannot listen and read at the same time. So Imam is reading the surah and you are reading Al-Fatiha. You cannot do that. You are contradicting. So how can we reconcile the hadith that says you must read Fatihat al-Kitab and the ayah that says وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ? How can we reconcile these two? I found Imam Malik's madhab is perfect. Imam Malik radiallahu anhu arda was a real faqih. He said when the Imam reads, you listen. When the Imam is silent, you read. So in Salat al-Isha, the Imam reads loudly in the first and the second rak'ah, right? You listen. You don't have to read Al-Fatiha. But in the third and the fourth rak'ah, the Imam is not reading loudly. So why don't you read? You have to read them. Because you have time. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Read Al-Fatiha. So this is how to reconcile the two dalils. So if the Imam is praying Dhuhr or Asr, like we pray Asr now, so the Imam is not reading. There's nothing to listen to. But some Hanafi said, no, you don't have to read Al-Fatiha at all prayers, because the Imam reads on your behalf. So the Imam reads, but what you are doing? You are standing there doing nothing. It doesn't make sense, right? So the bottom line here, Wallahu A'lam, I studied this very closely, and I found out that Imam Malik was able to enact or follow both dalil. إِذَا قُرَئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا لَا صَلَاةَ لِمَنْ لَمْ يَقْرَأْ بِفَاتِحَةِ الْكِتَابِ. In the middle, when the Imam reads, you listen. When the Imam does not read loudly, you read. And if you, of course, if you are praying by yourself, any salah by yourself, you're not following, then you have to read in every rak'ah. Is this clear?
Yeah, this is clear. Another question related to the same thing. If the Imam is very fast, reciting Surah Fatiha fast, by the time you are reciting, you already...
You follow the Imam. You follow the Imam. Don't skip follow the Imam. Or perhaps you need to read Al-Fatiha a little faster. Maybe you are slow, not his fast. And I find this with tashahhud in this community. People will read tashahhud, they need half an hour to finish tashahhud. I don't know why. It's a big burden when you wait for someone to finish his tashahhud because you want to cross. Oh my God. I don't know. I mean, maybe you're slow. The Imam is not fast. تحيات لله والصلاة والطيبات السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. I can say this in perhaps 45 seconds, and you can say it in 2 minutes. Oh, the Imam is so fast. No, the Imam is not fast. You are so slow. But even if the Imam is fast, just follow them. Make ruku', just go and make ruku'. Because the hadith, إنما جعل الإمام ليؤتم به. الله أعلم. Yes. want to see the Prophet in your dream, what is the prescription? There's no prescription. Everybody wants to. However, so these dreams, the Sufi scholars they call it a minha. Minha means a gift. It's a gift from Allah. You cannot wait for it. You can ask for it, you can pray for it, but it's a gift. I can't tell you have to give me the gift. You know, if you give me a gift, I will take it. But if you don't give me a gift, I cannot. You know, why don't you give me a gift? It does not become a gift anymore. So this minha, whether you see the Prophet or you see something else, bushra, it's a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, they also said that to see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you have to be qualified for this. And one of the qualification is to really, truly love the Prophet. If you love him so much in your daytime, and one day you will see him. If you're really so much eager to see him, if you send peace and blessing upon him, you would like to go to his Medina and visit him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You read his seerah, you teach about his seerah, you really love him so much. Inshallah, one day you will. Inshallah, one day you will. But there's no particular dua or something, if you say or you do, then you see the Prophet. There's no such a thing. If anybody tells you, he's lying. Except what I just said. What I said, just if you love the Prophet so much, we hope. And of course, you keep praying for this. Ya Allah, please let me see the Prophet in my dream. Keep praying. It's a dua. You make dua. You can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever you want. Right? Yes. Okay. Wiping on socks are conditions. This condition is that you put the socks on state of wudu. Can you make wudu first and then you put it on? The second is that it has to stay for 24 hours. If you are not traveling, if you are traveling, you can wipe on the socks for 3 days. That's it. After this, you have to take it off and make another wudu. You can do it every day, but you have to take it off. You can wipe on it for 24 hours. So, in the morning, you wake up in the morning, pray Fajr, you made wudu. Now, before you go to your work, you put the socks on a set of wudu. Then you can pray Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and Fajr of next day. And after this, you have to make another wudu. Yeah, even if you are awake, you use the bathroom, you lose it, and you can make another wudu wiping on it. So what? If you can make wudu, go and wash your feet. If you you have the option. You know, in Shia and Ja'fari madhab, wiping the socks is the norm. So in Sunni madhab, yes, some said it has to be leather. It has to be leather because it's leather back then, but it's not leather now. You cannot have socks of leather. The idea is to make it easy for people. And it's proven that it's much easier for people, especially if you are working in a non-Muslim corporation and you cannot just take it off and put your feet in the sink. And even in our sink here, it says, please don't put your feet in the sink. In the masjid here. Did you see that? In the sink, inside the masjid. It said, please don't wash your feet in the sink because it's disgusting for some people. Now you go to a public place and you put your feet there, and what kind of message you are sending to non-Muslims? Yes, akhi, why Allah give you the rukhsa? Take it. But for those who just don't go anywhere except their home and the masjid, of course, you said, no, you have to wash your feet because they can wash their feet all the time, but they have never been working in Ford or in GM. If they work one day in Ford and GM, they will change their opinion. Right? Yes. Alaykum salam. Let's answer the first one first. So if you see the Prophet in the dream, is it a sign that you're going to go to paradise? Not necessarily. The Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith that man ra'ani fi manami faqad ra'ani fa inna ash-shaytana la yatamathalu bi. If you see me in the dream, then you have seen me, because shaitan cannot come in my shape. All right? Okay, so what do I understand from this? Some ulama actually said, I'll just give you the all opinions. So you just understand how people they have different reading of the same hadith. Some ulama said this is only applied to those who saw the Prophet in reality, the Sahaba. Then when they see him in dream, then you have a picture and you have a dream that are identical. Okay? That applies only to those who saw the Prophet in reality. This is one opinion. Restrict this hadith only to the Sahaba. So this does not apply to us. But in reality, you have seen people, righteous people, that saw the Prophet ﷺ. And they said, and the other opinion is that anybody can see the Prophet. Again, I will give you all opinions. This does not. I'll tell you my personal opinion after. Second says that the Prophet ﷺ can be seen not only in dreams but in reality. Liyaqadha, while awake. Some people saw the Prophet ﷺ saying Salam Alaikum to them. A lot of debate, because you cannot prove it. You cannot prove it. And some righteous people, they claim that they saw the Prophet in reality, not only in their dream. Like one speaking now, and someone passes by, says Salam Alaikum, and said, Wa Alaikum Salam Ya Rasulullah. One of the ulama, he was sitting with his people like this, and said, Wa Alaikum Salam Wa Rahmatullahi Wa Barakatuh. And people were working on, nobody's saying Salam. He saw the Prophet. The Prophet came and says Salam Alaikum to him, and he said, Wa Alaikum Salam. Again, you cannot prove it, but this is one of the opinions. And the ulama said, can we see the Prophet in reality or not? There are a lot of debates on this. Some said, why not? Some said, no, because it, and so on. But seeing the Prophet in the dream, the ulama said, you have to see the Prophet according to the description of the Prophet. In other words, if you see the Prophet, or if you see someone you think he's the Prophet, but he, for example, has no beard, then he's not the Prophet. You did not see the Prophet. You thought he's the Prophet, but he's not the Prophet. Or you saw someone that you thought is the Prophet, but he said foul language or something wrong. No. You thought he's the Prophet, but this is not the Prophet. You saw the Prophet wearing a cowboy hat. No, you didn't see the Prophet. That's not the Prophet. You saw someone else. You understand? So you have to see the Prophet according to the real description of the Prophet ﷺ. The way that his shape and the way he looks, and the amama and so on. Okay? And many people saw the Prophet ﷺ in his, according to the exact description of the Prophet as written in all books. I'll just give you an example, and you know, that's a real. It's my mother, rahimahullah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on her and all our parents. It's a reality. She got broken hips, and I went with her to the doctor, the bone doctor, and he said, you have to do all these surgeries and put this gold or platinum joint and things until the fracture is gone, and it's like very complex things. And she actually at that time started not feeling good. But he said, you cannot do this now because you have to first deal with other health issues, and then you can do this. Or the kidney doctor said, no, you cannot go and do this now because your body cannot take it, so you have to wait. I'm telling you, she narrated this to me. I mean, there's no one person in between. And one night she saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was walking with some people, and then he looked at her, and then he, with his stick, he used to have a stick sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the old, when he grew older, and he touched with his stick her leg, and she woke up in the morning, she's perfectly fine. We did not do any surgery, and she was able to walk, no problem. I'm an eyewitness. I saw this myself. And she was extremely happy because she saw the Prophet, and the Prophet ﷺ touched her and he healed her. Again, some people, you have every right to disbelieve in this, but I swear by Allah, this is what happened. And I saw this with my own eyes. I cannot prove it to you other than that this is what happened. So, but if you see, if you think you saw the Prophet in that when he looks like different, then you did not see them. You saw someone else that you think of Prophet. So if someone see the Prophet, is it a sign that he will go to paradise? I don't know. There's nothing that says that if you see the Prophet, you will never go to the hellfire. Allah alam. Allah knows. I don't know. What's the second question? Yes. Well, the Prophet ﷺ told us when you come to prayer, come with sakina, with hudu. Don't rush, don't run. Because when you run, you are going to make some mistakes. And then imagine in the summer when someone runs to come to prayer, then you will get sweating, heart beating very high, and you are going to bother everybody. Because what kind of you have lost your khushu'. And what happened here in our masjid and all masajid, I have seen this myself. Wallahi al-azim, akhi, Islam is a beautiful religion. It's a religion of common sense. I'll give you this example of some people who are eager to pray, but they bother other people. A brother came here, and actually there was, I think, a monthly dinner or something, and the sister was in the hall, but she got a bad cramp, and she decided to leave. Okay? She left to take her car and go, and this brother came, blocked her to come and catch the jama'ah. And she said, brother, please come move your car, I want to go. Sister, it's iqama time. And he left her, and he came in to catch the prayer. And she had a very bad cramp. She told me this story, very bad cramp. She has to go. And now she has to wait for him to finish his jama'ah and sunnah and witr, and then come to speak to his friends, and then come out. She has to wait for him for this. What is this? Isn't it not better for this person to stay home? You are coming to do khayr, but you are doing shar, doing evil along with it. We were flying for Hajj in this Saudi airline, and this is a very small spot that can take perhaps 6 to maximum 10 people. You know, they can pray. Let's say maximum 10 people. If you are squeeze yourself, you can pray. So we went there, and there was a jama'ah praying. We are waiting for them to finish their prayer. There's no room, and people are waiting this side and other side for these brothers and sisters to finish and then to go, and then we take their place. We're praying one rak'ah, and everybody was waiting for them. And this long beard, big turban guy going for Hajj, he comes and he found the jama'ah, and he stood in nowhere. People barely can make sujood, touching the feet of the person, and he came in between, standing. Allahu Akbar. Everybody was disgusted by this. Why don't you wait? Everybody's waiting. Just wait until they finish, and then, no, he came, wallahi al-azim. The space is already packed. People can barely put their head on the floor. And he came, and people were waiting, looking at each other. And people were praying, they could not know how to. It was just disgusting. Yeah, you're going for Hajj, you have this long beard, and everybody's waiting. You are eager to pray, so why didn't you come earlier? Just wait. Like everybody, no, these people are waiting because their iman is weak. My iman is strong. I have to pray now. What on earth? Rasulullah ﷺ told the Sahaba that those who eat onion or garlic, don't come to Moses. You pray home. You are bothering everyone. You are bothering everyone. So coming fast. You are late. Don't be late. And in addition, you are bothering everyone. Yes, you are late. Khalas, ya akhi, you are late. Next time, come earlier. Yes, you can make fast wudu. Yes, you can make fast wudu. But not at the point when you splash everywhere and then you run and make noise. And it's better to stay home. It's better to stay. If someone has a flu, you got a flu, right? And it's better to pray home. Yeah, I want to get the reward of Jama'ah. Yeah, akhi, but you are getting the reward of Jama'ah, but you are making the whole masjid sick. You have no brain? Believe me, if you have common sense, that's half of fiqh. Half of fiqh to have just common sense. Allahu A'lam. Last question.
Coming back to traveling, when you travel within the United States, if I go, some people insist, it's a prayer time, you shouldn't sit in the car and pray, you should come out, stand and do the prayer. Well, the United States is no longer a hospital with crazy. The way it used to be crazy. What do you think of that? Some people say it's not going to be fair to sit in the car. You should stand.
Well, as I said before, the obligation is connected with the istita'a, the ability. Now, if you are driving and there is a mosque around, go and pray in the mosque. Then you cannot pray in your car. If you have an empty space, then you can pray without fearing anybody will bother you. Fine. If you cannot find any place, it's like very crowded place, or it's very cold outside, it's extremely cold, it's below zero, and you cannot even if you find you cannot pray outside. You're gonna kill yourself. Okay, in these cases you pray in your car. Who can decide whether you are able to pray outside or unable to pray outside? Some people don't care. They go and pray in the middle of anywhere and they don't care. But some people are more conservative and they cannot do it. So who decides you can or cannot is you. You do your best. You find a place, okay, this rest area is almost abandoned, nobody is there, so we're gonna make wudu and go in the back and pray and khalas. All right. You decide based on the circumstances. You cannot have someone to give fatwa for you all the time. You have to make your own judgment. All right. If you can, then you can. You have to. If you cannot, then you don't have to. Just put it this way. But you have to face the qibla. You have to have wudu and all these kind of things. Of course, you should. All right. Any more? Last one. Last two. Okay, quickly. Yes. Mm-hmm. Actually, the sign of a good dream, because dreams are three kinds. Keep this in mind. Are dreams coming from Allah, dreams come from shaitan, and dreams come from our subconscious. When you keep thinking about something so much, you see it in your dream, right? If you are so hungry, you will see yourself eating delicious food, and so on. So one of the signs of the dream that comes from Allah is that you remember it as if you lived this. It's like a real life. You remember every part of it. It was very clear. And after long years, it's still vivid as it was yesterday. But the dreams we see, when once we wake up we forget it, or in a few days we forgot about it, that's not, it's a sign that's not a dream from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dreams from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that comes with bushra, good news, or warning, right? You see you are doing something wrong, but you're not paying attention to it, and then you see the result of this, and it's wake up call, right? Or it tells you about someone who passed away, like when someone passes away, then you see him or her in good shape. That's also a good news. The dreams from shaitan, of course, is like messed up things that cast fear in your heart, and you see things. And the Prophet ﷺ said, when you see a good dream, don't tell except those whom you trust. If you see a good dream that Allah will give you so much money and Allah will give you this and that, and you tell people, they can do envy, and their evil eyes can hurt. So only tell the people you trust. What if you see a bad dream? Don't tell anybody. Once you wake up, say 3 times in the left, and say A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim, and change the side. If you are sleeping on the left, turn the light, and right, turn the left, and don't tell anybody. It's not even worth telling anybody. And inshallah it will not hurt you. Allahu A'lam. follow the signs, akhi. Fajr is Fajr. When I travel to London, for example, I fly direct flight from Detroit to London. You are going east, all right? So Fajr time comes faster. So if Fajr time here comes after 8 hours from Isha, when you are flying, it comes like after 3.5 hours because you are flying towards Fajr, right? So you have to keep looking. Once you see the Fajr, then it's Fajr time. When the sun rises very quickly, by the way. It's almost within half an hour, the sun rise. So we have to be careful. Once you see the sign of Fajr, this is time for Fajr. Once you see the sun set, this is time for Maghrib. So you have to follow the sign. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد